Alright everyone, it's October, so you know what time it is. I gotta do a scary game. Like, I have to. Like, I'm legally obligated. Not from like an actual person, but from like the universe. The universe is making me do a scary game. I don't make the rules, the game is the game, and I gotta do my part. So I chose a psychological thriller that follows the gripping story of a successful writer who finds himself trapped in a mysterious and unsettling small town. As he unravels the secrets hidden within the town's eerie darkness, he must confront the blurred lines between reality and fiction. A game most of you have heard of but probably haven't played. Not a super deep cut, but still cult status. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Alan Wake. Development began in 2004 after the success of Max Payne 2. After a well-deserved break, the development team regrouped and hit the ground running with new ideas. One concept the team came up with was centered around a successful writer who finds himself in a small town, where his literary creations have materialized and are trying to kill him. Departing from the neo-noir hard-boiled detective narrative style of their previous work, this project drew inspiration from the likes of Stephen King and David Lynch, resulting in the birth of Alan Wake. Immediately, Remedy sought to depart from the linear gameplay style of the Max Payne series and embrace a sandbox-style open-world approach, which seemed like a good choice at the time because open-world games at this point were poppin'. Morrowind, San Andreas, Spider-Man 2, well no, not that Spider-Man 2. Yeah, that's the one. And the sandbox they wanted to create would be a town called Bright Falls. To bring this vision to life, a team from Remedy embarked on a 2-week expedition to the Pacific Northwest. During this excursion, they diligently collected thousands of photographs, videos, and audio recordings in an attempt to authentically capture the essence of the small-town American atmosphere. In addition to crafting a town reminiscent of Twin Peaks, the development team aimed to introduce a dynamic day and night cycle that would seamlessly integrate with the gameplay. During the nighttime, the town would become infested with supernatural creatures, prompting players to spend their daylight hours gathering essential resources like gasoline to fuel portable lights, a crucial strategy for fending off those otherworldly threats. In 2005, Remedy unveiled the game at E3, showcasing it to the public and also conducting private behind-closed-doors tech demos for the press, while also hoping for a publishing deal. That big announcement came at the subsequent E3 during the Microsoft showcase, when Remedy revealed that Microsoft had secured the exclusive publishing rights for the game, ensuring it would be available solely on the 360 and Windows platforms. Now all that's fine and dandy, but behind the scenes, Remedy was facing considerable challenges during this period as they grappled with the intricate task of harmonizing all the intended elements of the game. Now with Microsoft on board, they also had contractual milestones to achieve, which unfortunately proved elusive. So Remedy gathered the head of each department, and for 2 months they evaluated what aspects of the game were effective and what needed adjustments. They also explored how they could repurpose the work they had already completed to align with the new vision of the game. The most significant obstacle they faced was the open world concept, which was proving to be the biggest hindrance. As a solution, they made the decision to divide these open world segments into smaller, more linear sections. A choice that initially contradicted their original intentions, but ultimately proved effective. In this new approach, each level was structured to resemble an episode of a TV show, complete with recaps and all, creating a compelling narrative format. The thematic contrast between light and dark, as well as the day and night cycles, remained integral to the game's design. The daytime segments became opportunities for the player to explore specific sections of Bright Falls and engage with the local inhabitants. In contrast, the nighttime segments evolved into a more combat-oriented experience, where Alan Wake is tasked with defending himself against the Taken. As Remedy finally began to nail down what they wanted, the parallel between the development of Alan Wake and the story within the game itself is striking. Here we've got Alan Wake, a very talented author who created a series centered around a hard-boiled detective, faced with new difficulties as he attempts to move on to his next project. And here's Remedy, a very talented game development studio who crafted a series centered around a hard-boiled detective, faced with new difficulties as they attempt to move on to their next project. This alignment between the characters' creative struggles and the challenges encountered by the development team underscores the interplay between art and the experiences of its creators, creating a profound connection between the game's narrative and its real-world genesis. You know what I mean? And all of that paid off because after 6 long years, the game was released on May 18th, 2010 to critical acclaim. Critics and fans loved it, but all this was overshadowed because it had the misfortune of launching on the same day as...
My name's John Marston.
Yeah. The game eventually went on to sell 4.5 million copies over the next 5 years, but because of its slow sales, it kinda ruined the chances of a sequel. But I mean, eventually it got one, 13 years later, but hey, better late than never. Combat is a straightforward affair. There are essentially two weapons in the game. You got your flashlight and you got your gun. The main enemies in this game are the Taken. These enemies are shrouded in a protective layer of darkness that renders them impervious to standard attacks, but continuously shining a light source on them will dispel that shield, enabling players to dispatch them with conventional weapons like a revolver, shotgun, hunting rifle, yada yada. Now you can focus the flashlight's beam, which will accelerate the rate at which it depletes the Taken's protective shield. However, this action will consume the flashlight's battery. Batteries will naturally recharge over time, or players can opt to replace the batteries with ones they collect during gameplay. This dynamic element of managing the flashlight's power and resources adds a strategic layer to the game's combat, requiring players to be mindful of their resources while confronting the Taken. There are other weapons you'll pick up as well, such as flare guns, flash grenades, regular-ass flares, but they all revolve around a pretty basic combat loop. Use the light to remove the darkness around the enemy and finish them off. There's also a dodge mechanic in the game as well. You'll know when you've pulled off a successful dodge because it'll go slow-mo and get all cinematic. The dodge window is pretty big, so it's pretty easy to nail them, which comes in handy because it's very easy to be overwhelmed by the Taken. This game's also full of collectibles like coffee thermoses, supply chests, and these radios that will play little snippets from a local radio show that really help flesh out Bright Falls and its inhabitants. Moreover, there are TVs that broadcast a show called Night Springs, a name that intriguingly contrasts the town's name, Bright Falls. Night Springs is a clear homage to the Twilight Zone and even includes a voiceover narration very similar to Rod Serling, paying tribute to the iconic series. The story begins with a dream sequence. Well, I mean, it actually begins with a Stephen King quote.
Stephen King once wrote that nightmares exist outside of logic, and there's little fun to be had in explanations. They're antithetical to the poetry of fear.
Then we get our dream sequence.
It began with a dream. Following a typical nightmare pattern, I was late, desperately trying to reach my destination, a lighthouse. For some urgent reason, I couldn't remember. I'd been driving too fast down a coastal road to get there.
Was that a person?
Doesn't matter, because Alan Wake ain't tripping off that. He's compelled to reach this lighthouse, driven by an inexplicable calling. This early part of the game is a tutorial, teaching us the mechanics while also offering a glimpse of the horrors that lie ahead.
You don't even recognize me, do you, Ryder?
As we run from the darkness, a voice calls out to us.
Over here!
It's a man named Clay Stewart who asks if we remember him, which it's like, no, I don't know you. Apparently, Clay Stewart started having strange nightmares that Alan Wake kept showing up in, which brought him to Bright Falls, where he compiled all the information he could gather into a book called the Alan Wake Files. He seems kind of important, so let's see what insights he can give us.
No! Damn it, die! No! No! No!
And that's a wrap on Clay Stewart. Seriously, we never see this man again. You want more information on him? Go read the Alan Wake Files. After making it to the lighthouse and dying, Alan is woken up by his wife.
Baby, just another nightmare. Everything's fine.
Turns out it was all just a dream. Wait, I already said that. He already said that. Never mind.
We need to stop at the local diner to get the cabin key from the landlord, a Mr. Carl Stuckey. He's waiting for us.
Wake heads to the Oh Dear Diner, and in here we meet some Bright Falls locals. We got Rose. She's a waitress and a huge Alan Wake fan. We got Rusty, a park ranger, the Anderson brothers, Tor and Odin, who are like old as shit now, but like in the 70s, they were in a heavy metal band called the Old Gods of Asgard. And at the back, messing with the light switch, we got Cynthia Weaver. She don't fuck with the dark. You know what I mean? I don't either. Fuck the dark. Wake's supposed to meet Carl Stuckey here for his cabin key, but instead is met by a creepy old white lady.
Carl couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he was taken ill. But I have the key for you and instructions on how to get to the lake.
Okay.
I wish you a good stay in my cabin. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in. And to meet your wife. I insist.
But as the two drive off, Stuckey comes rushing out of the diner.
Hey, wait! Mrs. Wake! Your keys!
We covered this a little earlier. Alan Wake, super successful author, wrote a detective book about a guy named Alex Casey, but after concluding that series, Alan developed some serious ass writer's block and hasn't written anything for 2 years. Wake and his wife Alice have decided to take a little vacation in this former mining town, hoping to, unwind, live a little, just chill. This choice was also encouraged by his close friend and literary agent Barry Wheeler, who hopes that this getaway will help rejuvenate Alan's creative inspiration. The two eventually reach Diver's Isle, which is a small island situated in a caldera lake known as Cauldron Lake. Alan's gotta hurry though. The sun is setting and Alice has a fear of the dark, so he's gotta get the lights on an old bird-leg cabin before she'll go in. After getting the lights on and settling into the cabin, it's time to, relax. It's vacation time, shoot.
Alan, I'm upstairs. I have a surprise for you.
Alice talking about she got a surprise for him? Ooh, it's Mr. Nasty time, Al.
Mr. Nasty time.
I'm not the surprise. It's in the study.
Oh. This is not Mr. Nasty time.
Surprise!
Alice? What is this?
I guess I have a small confession to make. I thought maybe you could write here that a change of scenery would get you past...
Damn it, Alice, everyone keeps...
Hey, just hear me out. There's a local doctor, Dr. Hartman. I read a book of his. He has a private clinic here. He specializes in helping artists. Maybe...
So now you want to get me committed?
No, it's not like that. That's not... Alan?
Just don't! I don't want to hear it! God damn it, Alice!
God damn!
Alan storms off, and it's like, come on, man, he just wanted to relax and have a good time, but everybody's like, bro, you gotta get back to writing these books, dog. What is you doing? It's like, come on, man, let a man chill for a while. He is doing too much, though, which he realizes after cooling off for a bit.
Alice? Alice? Alice!
Alan rushes to the cabin, but when he gets there...
Alice? Alice? Oh no!
Keep going. Wake up.
Alice? Waking up in the crashed car felt like I had woken from one nightmare and entered another. I couldn't remember how I got there. All I knew was that something terrible had happened to Alice. The phone was dead. I'd have to find help on foot.
Not too far from the crash, he sees a gas station off in the distance and decides to head to it. On the way, he finds something.
Hello? Is someone there? The loose sheets of paper were pages from a manuscript entitled Departure. That was the name I planned to use for the next novel I had never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it. In the scene on the page, the hero was attacked by an axe murderer in the woods at night.
This manuscript is very important to the story overall, and it's also a collectible you'll find throughout the game. These pages, though not in order, give insight into things from Alan Wake's past, things he's currently experiencing, and things that have yet to happen. A little further in, he sees a logging area that seems to have life, but when he gets there...
Hey! Hey, you!
Phil!
There's been an accident! I need help! Listen,
Deposit.
I need to...
Premium cabins for rent in...
Oh, hell.
Carl Stuckey. Pleased to meet you.
It's Carl Stuckey, but something is not right. He's talking all crazy, pulling off some sick-ass moves.
Parkour!
Alan rushes to the building for cover.
I had to figure a way out of this. Any second now, and Stuckey would be knocking on the door with his axe like Nicholson in The Shining.
In here, he finds a gun and a flashlight. Brought to you by Energizer. As we move to the logging area, we fight tons of Taken that culminates in a fight with Carl Stuckey's speedy ass. When we finally make it to the gas station, Alan makes a startling revelation.
Deerfest had been 2 weeks away when we arrived. If the day count on the banner was right, I was missing a whole week between the night we got here and now.
As he enters the gas station, he catches a glimpse of himself on a TV.
I'll write. I'll keep writing. Outside, there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel her presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her perfume in the room. I'll reach her. I'll fix it up. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. If I stop, she's lost. I don't believe this. It'd been me on the TV, talking crazy. Was I losing my mind?
After freaking himself out, Alan finds a phone and makes a call to the Bright Falls police.
Bright Falls Sheriff Station.
Sheriff Sarah Breaker, you are...
I'm Alan Wake, but listen. I was in a car crash. My wife, Alice, she's missing.
Calm down, Mr. Wake.
We were staying in a cabin on the island, on Cauldron Lake.
There's no island on Cauldron Lake, not since the big eruption in the 70s.
Please, I can take you there, okay?
You look like you've taken a pretty bad knock to the head. Are you okay?
Listen.
We'll figure this out. Please get in the car. We'll swing by the lake and then we'll go to the station, okay?
Sheriff Sarah Breaker takes him to Cauldron Lake, but like she said, there's no cabin, no diver's aisle. It's all gone. We pick up 3 years earlier in New York City. Alan returns home and finds Alice working on the cover of his final book in the Alex Casey series, The Sudden Stop. The power goes out and spooks Alice.
Alan!
But after lighting some candles and cuddling up to her, Alan calms her with a story.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
Present day, Alan is being examined by Dr. Nelson.
Nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
After clearing him, he informs Wake that the sheriff wants to speak to him.
How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me, I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with
Don't
anything?
do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Wake obliges and finds Alice's ID in this dusty-ass car.
Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
As he heads back in, he sees the sheriff talking to a man who introduces himself as Emil Hartman.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my! Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
Alan fills Barry in, and the two go to rent a cabin and wait for the night. Alan heads out alone, but as he gets closer to the visitors area, shit starts to go crazy.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming!
He finds Rusty, the park ranger.
Mr. Wake?
Oh, hell.
It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
He tries to get the lights back on, but the fuse box has been destroyed. When he returns, Rusty is gone, and in his place...
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
It's too late for Rusty, though. The darkness has already taken him. After defeating Rusty, Wake pushes on, eventually finding a cable cart he needs to get to the other side. And it's like, come on, bro, you know this is a bad idea. See, that's what I say.
Come on, we gotta get moving. More of them coming.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
As we follow the kidnapper, we gotta work together. We break the shields, the kidnapper takes them out. This goes on for a while until we defeat them all.
Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were gonna say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're gonna bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her at
As the kidnapper scurries away, Wake decides to head back to Barry, but on his way he gets a call from the kidnapper.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need a week.
It's not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building, there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. Not, well, get me.
I sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
I know.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the Old Deer Diner.
Good girl.
As Barry and Alan head to Rose's trailer, Barry hits us with all the info. It seems that this quiet little town is full of disappearances and mysterious deaths, all happening around Cauldron Lake. And there used to be an island there owned by a famous author named Thomas Zane. Zane loved diving so much that the isle was named Diver's Isle because, obviously. See, Zane was such a famous writer that Barry couldn't find a single thing this man had written. Wait, what? Thomas also had a love interest named Barbara Jagger who drowned in 1970. A week later, the volcano under the island erupted, taking out Diver's Isle and Thomas Zane. As the two make it to Rose's, it's like, we as the players know that these two are walking into a trap, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Hey,
This is really good.
Rose,
Yes,
my manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry. She doesn't have anything.
Yeah, hey, Al, what's... Oh...
Barry! What?
See, she done spiked the damn coffee.
What?
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
I promised I'd come visit you and your lovely wife. You must finish what you started. I insist.
You must turn the lights on. Turn the light on.
Back to work, boy.
When Alan wakes, he decides to go grab a car, scoop Barry up, and get the hell out of here. But when he gets to his car, the police are waiting for him.
God knows what you've done to that poor girl. This is Agent Nightingale, FBI! Get him up, Hemingway! You're under arrest! You move a muscle, I'll unload right in your goddamn face! Stay right where you are, Triple A!
Damn, how many times is he gonna go over a ledge?
What are? I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac!
As Wake pushes through the woods, evading one set of pursuers, another emerges. Having no other options, Wake heads to the radio station and hopes that the DJ can give him directions to the coal mine. Okay, all right. I mean, it's a plan, I guess.
Oh, I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown! You back away from me! Don't hurt!
Whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him. What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
Yo, enough with the damn cliffs! After moving through a train depot and fighting a fucking bulldozer, Wake finds a car and heads to the coal mines to wait for Mott.
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Mott calls and changes the plan, telling Wake to meet him at Mirror Peak.
Change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
After crossing this train yard and moving through a mine, Alan finally reaches Mirror Peak.
us. There you go, Alan. Hartman, I fell.
I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period.
What?
Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been for a while now. The shock of your wife's death triggered a mental illness.
No, you're lying.
You're suffering from various symptoms of undifferentiated schizophrenia.
Bastard.
It's okay, Alan. Just let go.
Alan wakes up in Cauldron Lake Lodge, run by Dr. Emil Hartman, the man he punched earlier. As he shows Wake around, he explains to him that everything he has experienced is a delusion Alan cooked up after his wife drowned. We also get to see the Anderson brothers again.
Oh, that won't do. I'm so sorry to cut this short for now, Alan. The power has been acting up. I'd better go check on it. We'll continue this soon. Meanwhile, when you feel up to it, return to your room and try to write. It really is for the best. Don't you think?
I'd like to bash his head in with a hammer.
Oh, he'd love to fish out our secrets, but he has no clue. He's not crazy enough. Not crazy like us, Sonny. Yeah! Being crazy's a requirement, Sonny. Who else could understand the world when it's like this? It takes crazy to know crazy.
That's the sanest thing I've heard in a while.
Say, you're all right, Tom. Hey, we like him, don't we, bro? He's got to go to the farm.
The Anderson farm. Valhalla!
We wrote it all down, lest we'd forget. A crash course. All you need to know to get your head right. You need to find the message.
Here, Sonny, here's something for you. Gave me a rash, but I kept it safe from these bastards.
Alan heads back up to his room and tries to write.
The white glare of the blank page in front of me hurt my eyes. My hands began to shake uncontrollably.
Everybody calm down. Put that down. Bert, I need help.
Hey, Wake, you stay here. I'm gonna go see what's up. You just keep doing what you're doing. Be cool, okay?
Shit, Tor Odin ain't playing now here beating up the workers, giving Wake the cover he needs to run up on Hartman. He grabs the keys and heads towards Hartman's office and finds Barry?
Ow! About time!
Okay, sure, all right, fine.
These were all the pages I had on me. And more.
Alan, please. You're sliding back into the...
Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
Ah, well, it was worth a shot. Really, Wake, come on. Let's work together on this. You have no idea...
Hartman, shut up! Barry, get out of here. I'll catch up with you. Get a car.
Oh, Al, let's just...
Go!
Wake, listen to me. This is a mistake. Don't you see? Together we can create something absolutely wonderful. With your ability and mine.
The fuck was that smile? The dark presence is here and it's using everything in its power to catch Wake. Couches, bookshelves, art installations, all that. After making it outside, we see Barry on the other side of the gate. And since Alan can't climb, we gotta go through a fucking hedge maze and walk all the way around this bitch to get out. And yes, it's full of Taken.
Al, please tell me we're headed for the nearest "You're now leaving Bright Falls. Come back soon" sign.
We're going to the Anderson farm.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. You know what? You owe me big time for this. When this is through, if we make it, I don't care what anybody says, I'm done with darkness. You're gonna buy me a tanning bed as a gift, and I'm gonna live in it.
I'm crazy, but that's fine, Barry.
Oh, you got that right, Al. You're barking mad. You are by far the craziest...
But maybe that's inevitable when you deal with crazy stuff like this. It helps. This is happening, Barry. Alice, they never had Alice. She's trapped in the darkness at the bottom of the lake, but she's not dead.
Al, how can you know that?
I know, Barry. I can...
Al,
No, listen. I can bring her back. I can find her. There's something special about this place. The lake, it does something to the works of art created here. It makes them come true. But there's a catch. The dark presence, whatever that thing is, twists it to its own ends. That's why all of this is happening. It's using my manuscript to take over everything.
Al, I believe you.
It happened to Thomas Zane before, it happened to the Andersons.
I believe you. Crazy or not, you're not delusional. Weird shit's going down. That's a fact. I'm on board, man. I'm with you.
The Andersons knew about it, but they were too far gone to tell me with all the drugs they were on. But they wrote it down. There's a message somewhere at their farm, Barry. You just need to find it.
Look out!
Oh my God, is it time to go over another cliff? After making it to the farm, we get this fun little section where Alan has to fight like hordes of Taken on this stage that the Andersons built, complete with pyrotechnics and their music playing in the background. It's kind of fun. It's cool. It's a cool little fun moment. Eventually, the two make it to the Andersons' house where they find the song.
Okay.
We need to find Cynthia Weaver. We'll stay here for the night and head back to town as soon as it gets light.
Instead of just, like waiting or, taking some time to rest or some shit, these two decide to get fucking lit off the brothers' homemade moonshine, which just seems like the absolute worst idea, but it kind of works out. See, the Andersons use the water from Cauldron Lake to make their moonshine, which triggers something in Alan. It allows him to tap into the memories of the week he lost, diving into the lake to save Alice, how in his grief Barbara Jagger manipulated him into writing the manuscript. Turns out that everything that's happening is Wake's fault. I'm sure everybody's figured that out by this point.
I remembered it all now. In the dark, I'd written for days, a week, almost a complete manuscript of a novel entitled Departure. Jagger had been my editor, whispering in my ear, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more and more powerful. I thought I was saving Alice. Even with the cobweb she put in my head, some part of me had been aware enough to write my escape into the story, to bring a light into the cabin to release me before I could finish, to interrupt the horror story before the ending, where darkness consumed everything and everyone. Zane was weak and far away, but I had written him into the story, and his light had been enough to set me free.
It isn't here now. I'm here because it was written. I brought the light to set you free. You must hurry. It will know I'm here. It will be back soon. It stole the skin of my Barbara a long time ago. She looks so old.
I had woken up, confused and groggy, my mind consumed by darkness and fear. All I could do was to escape. The week spent in the cabin had taken its toll. I was barely conscious and fading fast. It had to have cost Zane terribly, thrown him even deeper into whatever dark place he now haunted. But he had managed to weaken the dark presence, kept me safe that night. I wrote it. It's my fault.
That's right, James Joyce. It's your fault, and you're gonna pay for it.
Oh, cool, and now we're in jail. Good job, everybody. We did it.
I have it. Someone will come for it when the time is right. Thomas said so. He wrote it. The key is insurance. It's my job to keep it safe. Safe in the light. What was in the light?
That's Cynthia Weaver. She's talking about keeping something safe for Thomas. So we gotta get to her. Well, as soon as we get out of jail.
Wake, what's wrong?
Lady, are you stupid? It's a trick. It's an obvious trick.
Okay, I've had enough of this crap. Wake, I'm gonna trust you with this.
You're joking.
Agent Nightingale, your opinion would matter more if you were sober and if I actually believed you were here on official business.
Whoa! Get back in the cell, Stephen King. The only way you're leaving this place is over my dead... Wait a minute.
All right, okay, easy enough. Sarah explains that Cynthia Weaver lives in the power plant and that they can get there no problem in the chopper. So, we gotta get to the chopper. So Wake and Sarah push through Bright Falls, fighting hordes of Taken along the way until they reach the chopper at the fire department.
We're coming up on the power plant. See the lit building over there? And that's the dam further up the river. I can't land here. I'll take her down the road across the river.
Just get me there, Sheriff.
Hold on!
Of course shit can't go right. Now we gotta cross this electrified transformer field with giant ass spools and fucking spinning bridges so we can make it to the plant and meet Cynthia.
Hold it right there.
Miss Weaver, Cynthia, I'm a friend.
Prove it.
You knew Zane, Thomas Zane. You're the Lady of the Light in the song. You can help me.
About time. Young man, I've been waiting a very long time for you.
She tells Wake that what he's looking for is in the well-lit room, and she has a secret route to get there, but the transformers are draining too much power and she won't traverse it in the darkness. So we've got to go outside and shut the transformers off, which is like this little weak-ass puzzle. As the two move through a large pipe, Alan calls Barry.
Barry, we're headed to the dam in one of the pipes. Meet us there.
Okay, I'll tell Sarah.
It's Sarah now? We gotta go see if they're okay.
They're probably dead. You must reach the well-lit room. This is no time to be a selfish idiot.
That's my best friend.
Well, be a fool. I'll use the pipe. I'll meet you at the dam if you make it.
When we reach the chopper, it's empty, but push a little further up and we see that Barry and Sarah are fine. Eventually, Wake makes it to safety and we finally make it to the well-lit room.
The page was autobiographical, a memory from my childhood. But I didn't write this. It was a page written by Thomas Zane. None of them were supposed to exist anymore.
Alan, 7 years old, would fight sleep to the bitter end. When he did sleep, he soon woke up, screaming, the nightmares fresh in his mind. One evening, his mother, sitting by his bed, offered him an old light switch. She called it the clicker, and flicking the switch would turn on a magical light that would drive the beast away. To imbue the talisman with all possible power, she added that it had been given to her by Alan's father. Alan never knew him, and anything of his took on mythical proportions in his mind. With the clicker firmly in his hand, Alan finally slept like a baby. Now, almost 30 years later, Alan thought of this as he stood on the rim of Cauldron Lake, the clicker in his hand. He took a deep breath and jumped.
My mind swirled. I'd given the clicker to Alice, yet it was here. Zane had written it into existence in a story I had written. I can get to her now. I can finish this.
With a weapon to defeat the darkness, Wake must return to Cauldron Lake and finish what he started. He must write an ending to Departure. He knows he must make the trek alone, and it won't be an easy one. Now that Wake knows too much, the Dark Presence no longer has a reason to keep him alive and starts throwing everything at him. Literally, when Wake reaches Cauldron Lake, we see a swirling black tornado that's been throwing all this shit at us. A few well-placed flare gun shots will calm this shit down. With clicker in hand, Wake goes over the cliff one last time.
Hell!
Shh, baby. You were having a bad dream. It was just another nightmare.
No.
Everything's fine. You're home.
It wasn't a dream.
Everything's fine.
Turn the lights on.
The Dark Presence does everything it can to stop Wake, but it's not enough. Wake makes it to Birdleg Cabin.
Now you will never get her back. I am much older than you. Older than your first work of art. I will find a new face to wear. Someone else to dream me free.
With the Dark Presence quote-unquote defeated, Alan can finally undo all the bad the Dark Presence created.
I could feel Alice's presence close by. I understood what I had to do now. I knew how to write the ending to Departure. There's light and there's darkness. Cause and effect. There's guilt and there's atonement. But the scales always need to balance. Everything has a price. That's where Zane had gone wrong. There's a long journey through the night back into the light.
But it seems a piece of the Dark Presence lingers on, just like it said it would. In the last moments of the game, Wake has one final revelation.